Good evening, folks. It's Tuesday night, and I am getting ready to do the individual grades on the discussion boards. And I'd like to just take a few minutes to talk to everybody because I know some common themes, and I wanted to just review that and also maybe clarify the rather uh, poor recording that I did last night, and just a couple other points of how we do things. First, one very important thing I did get uh, an, an inquiry, and he asked the professor, I'm sorry, I did forget to change the availability dates on this week's discussion boards, and they're two highly related ones, and I have changed that now so they are available to everybody. Because I didn't get that changed till Tuesday night, don't worry about that Wednesday night deadline. Okay, that's just, let's start working on it from here, and just make sure you get your initial response in relatively soon, hopefully by the weekend, and then relay the responses that you'll have to two other people. A lot of things have gone on in the last few days. Last weekend was, for me, big travel weekend with coaching. We've got a bunch of as I said, we're on a spring break trip, so we have matches and practices and everything going on. I'm actually coming to you from now tonight indoors at the vacation house that we've rented from the tennis team here in Orlando. Many of you had to put up with the blizzard in the Northeast today, so I want you to know that we'll all take that into consideration. And it's just been a crazy few days, so let's just do one of the things that we do in sports and in business. We adapt, and we do what's necessary. So please put that in place. Let's get that done. And also, I'm taking the advantage of doing something. And here, I will put an announcement and an email together about this, but I noticed last week relatively few people watched the video that I made, the introductory video. Not that I'm any kind of egomaniacal, think I'm a little TV star here, or anything like that. No, this is a way I can communicate with everyone all at once, to address some common themes, to let you know what's going on. And we do use this to quite good effectiveness in order to capture some of that atmosphere of just being a class. Some things I would tell you if you had walked into the classroom tonight. So let's just keep that in mind. I'd really appreciate it if you would watch. You'll get a lot of valuable information that way, and not just textual information, but more some administrative information about assignments and things like that. Please use it. I use it. It's convenient. It's effective, and I thank you for your attention. Okay, now on to what I wanted to talk about, the week one discussion board. Again, I mentioned it in the brief video I did last night. There was some very great stuff in there, and people are picking up some of the ideas of the big picture, the big things that go on. Why are we talking about sport economics? What are we doing here? Is it the big picture of the business of sports that we're thinking about? The answer is yes, we should be. And one of the things I noticed a trend, particularly as we got towards the end of the week a little bit, was to take the information about Babe Ruth and take it almost literally about being the performance of an athlete. And I would like you to think back about what you wrote about, what you looked at, and what you read, and think of it more about the performance of an asset or the performance of an operation. And think about it what we were seeing was athletic performance and athletic abilities and strengths and weaknesses broken down into a series of decisions about when to use the resource, how to use the resource, under what conditions we would use it, where did we get the greatest advantages, comparative advantages, absolute advantages. This is all economic thinking, and what we're using is one of the greatest baseball players in history to illustrate how those concepts work. And you're going to start seeing how those concepts work in the whole field of sport economics. So this is when I ask that we take the hat that we wear as sports fans off and really start thinking about economics, thinking like economists. As I mentioned in the little video last night, you may have wondered why the humor video is there. The economic principles explained by a guy doing what many probably thought was an absolutely ridiculous performance and saying, this isn't funny, or maybe you said it is funny. But what I was really looking for, and if I were in a classroom, as I said earlier, I'd just be looking to see who laughed, to see who showed that they recognized the concepts that were being talked about. Whether you approach them in a humorous way or a serious way, it lets me know that folks need maybe a little refresher on some of the economic thinking. Maybe we don't, but it's a subject that surrounds us all the time, and it's really what drives our lives. So that was important. But I really wanted to mention about the last week's discussion is it started off great and most of it was wonderful. Let's just make sure we can complete the ideas in a big picture reference. Let's not take things literally, because economics doesn't do that. It looks at concepts. It looks at the conditions that are created in which we must do business. And that's what I think I really want people to remember. So great job. I really appreciate it. I will be working on the individual grades tonight and tomorrow, and to try to get this all done. Like I said, I am traveling this week, but that doesn't mean I'm not working on just about everything academic that I can. In between, I'm working on everything athletic that I can. So that's a balancing act. It's a little juggling. Look, we had to beat up the real estate agents who rent these properties today because they gave us the wrong Wi-Fi code. And I've got 9 student athletes who needed the Wi-Fi code. They were without Wi-Fi for 2 days. At least I had my phone and my hotspot, and I could do a few little things. So I understand that's life. That's how we go through things. That's the one of the perils of online education. It's one of the adventures of online education. It's something we all go through. So again, thank you for your cooperation. Thanks for your insights on the discussion board. And as we move into this week, look at the material. We're talking about how different franchises, different sports do business. I'm going to try, if I can clean it up into a better copy, bring some material we used to use from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston that explains a little bit more about how sports franchises run. Unfortunately, they took that website down, and I had to get copies of the source material, and I've translated it into a Word document that we can use, and I'll be trying to put pieces up as we go, because I think they're a very clear explanation of a lot of the concepts in sport economics. So if you do have any questions for me, please email me directly. Use the Ask the Professor slot. That's what it's there for. And watch these videos. They help, and it makes it easier for me to communicate with many people at once. Okay, thanks for your attention, and we'll talk to you soon.